Jacob was a little surprised to get a text from Kathy in the middle of a class. She was usually quite studious and wouldn't text or do anything else but pay attention to the lecture. He was not sure how to respond to her question, though. He wasn't all that eager to attend the lecture, but he didn't want to say no to Kathy either. Why me? After thinking for a while, Jacob replied to her message with a question. Within seconds, he got a reply. I'm inviting you so that you can appreciate real scientists. Well, I do appreciate them. Jacob sent back another message, still not giving a clear answer. He was sure that Kathy wouldn't reply now. She had already missed out on a few things that the professor was rambling about, and he was sure that she wouldn't waste any more time on texting him. He was almost about to put his head down on the desk and go off to sleep again when his cell phone beeped. It was Kathy. Don't try to get out of this. You should show some respect to the great scientists of our country. Since you don't realize how important their contributions are, I have to take you to experience it. Kathy was not budging and was hell-bound to take him to the lecture. Not only was she texting Jacob constantly, but also turning around and glaring at him from the front row. Who is Kathy turning around for? Is someone making noise? She seems angry. Sam, who sat beside Jacob, asked him with a suppressed yawn. I have no idea, Jacob answered, acting innocent. He looked down at his phone and found another message waiting for him. It said, A lot of people want to go to the lecture, but the admission is limited. I was only able to get 2 tickets through my connections at the student council. I'm taking you, and that's it. Bye now. I have to focus on class. Jacob sighed. Kathy takes things so seriously. I was just joking around last time, but she insists that I have to go with her because she thinks it is important for me to appreciate our scientists, he thought as he rubbed his sore wrists and arms, laid them back on the desk, and went back to his nap. However, he ended up making a loud noise against the desk because of the heavy bracelets and startled his roommates a bit. It wasn't a good feeling to be carrying 110 pounds around in the form of jewelry. The afternoon was filled with easy subjects like English, and Jacob didn't take the same classes as Kathy, so he was off her radar for the rest of the day. He also avoided going back to Susan's office. Ever since Susan gave him the little bracelets, Jacob had been too scared to go see her. The closer he got to her, the more terrifying she seemed. And so, after classes, Jacob killed some time in his dorm until 6 o'clock. Then, he went to the cafeteria for some snacks with his roommates, and together they headed off to their philosophy lecture. The class was scheduled from 6 to 7:45. When the class ended, there was a flood of people trying to get out of the classroom because it was packed. Jacob and his friends sat in the last row as usual, and so they were the last ones to leave the class and were right at the end of the crowd. Sam, let's go get some more snacks. It's on you since you survived the tragedy, declared the roommate who suffered a black eye in the famous basketball court brawl as he tried to make his way through the crowd. Damn, you've been saying that ever since the decision came in, and I have treated you so many times already. Sam punched his back. The guy laughed as he turned around and said to his friend, Hey, how about you treat us this time? The 4 of them walked out of the classroom while pushing and teasing each other around. As soon as they stepped out the door, they saw Kathy, who looked unbelievably beautiful. Dressed in a royal blue skirt and a black blouse, she looked like a princess in the crowd of weary students. Sam and the others froze for a second. Even Jacob was surprised, as he didn't expect that Kathy would be waiting for him there. The skirt Kathy wore wasn't exactly something one would wear to a party, but looked elegant and trendy. Her round face glowed with light makeup, and she looked gorgeous. Her shimmery black blouse and the dazzling skirt ensemble accentuated her curves. It looked like she was dressed up for a date. Jacob and his friends stood at the door blankly. Some other guys who had just walked out were also turning around to look at the pretty girl standing outside the class and lingered on without any intention of leaving. Jacob, let's go. Kathy smiled at Jacob. Oh, okay. Jacob nodded. He then turned around and said to Sam, "I'm going to a lecture with Kathy." They all looked at each other and then at Jacob, looking completely shocked. "Hurry up or we'll be late." Kathy tugged on Jacob's sleeve and rushed him. Without wasting any time, he walked out of the building with her. He took her bike out of the parking lot and hopped on. Kathy then jumped on the back seat deftly and held on to Jacob's waist. The bike bumpily rode across campus in the dim light of the night. Sam and the others continued to stare at the scene from the corridor window and stood as if they had been fossilized together. After a while, Sam stretched his stiff neck and asked, "What's going on here? Are they dating?" Meanwhile, on the road, Jacob asked, "Kathy, did you come to get me because you were afraid that I would skip the lecture?" "Yeah, who knows if you would go for snacks with Sam and the other guys and stand me up," Kathy said brightly as she sat in the back and grabbed onto Jacob's waist tightly. Jacob laughed and paddled even faster. He felt like he was getting closer to Kathy, even though he barely had a chance to get to know her before. As for Kathy, she had started noticing Jacob ever since the time he got picked up by the Mercedes. At first, she was concerned that there was something wrong with this guy in her class. Slowly, she found out that although Jacob wasn't special, he was different from the other guys. When he trained at night for the athletic games, he became unique in Kathy's eyes. They went to the E block of the campus where the auditorium was, but found that the parking lot outside the building was already full of bikes, e-bikes, and many flashy cars. Kathy parked her bike at the end of the parking lot and then entered the glass hall with Jacob. She was worried that others might take their seats, so she started walking at a faster pace and pulled on Jacob's arm to ensure that he kept up. The architectural design of the hall was a replica of the Roman Colosseum. It had a round structure, and the interiors were high-end and classy. Outside the marble hall, reporters from various media channels surrounded a couple of people with microphones and cameras held high in their hands. Kathy was quite curious, so she slowed down and pulled Jacob along with her to have a look together. "Mayor William, I know you are very busy, but you still came to my lecture. It is an honor," a crisp and bright male voice said. "Dr. Brown, I am a fan. I wouldn't have missed you taking the stage no matter how busy I get," said a man dressed in a plaid shirt. Jacob recognized him. He was the mayor of Wisconsin, who was on the news all the time. The deputy mayor, who was in charge of the economic development and was also Michael's father, was standing beside the mayor. He had a smile on his face and didn't say anything out of the ordinary and remained somber in the presence of the dignitaries. "Mrs. Brown is getting younger by the day." The mayor, after chatting with the tall and mighty Dr. Brown, turned around respectfully and talked to the lady who was dressed in a plain suit and stood beside Dr. Brown. "You're flattering me, kind sir," the lady with a commanding presence said as she lowered her head and smiled. "You have acquired yet another commendable accolade from Europe. You are indeed an honor to Wisconsin as well as the American scientific community." The mayor smiled and continued talking. Accompanying the academics and the mayor were a lot of university officials, college officials, and senior professors who were rarely seen otherwise. They were smiling and exchanging pleasantries. "Those two are the Browns. Did you see that? That is the temperament of world-class scientists." Kathy pointed secretly at the dynamic academic couple and moved closer to Jacob as she whispered with great respect, "It is about time. Let's not keep the students waiting for too long. Let's go inside." Dr. Brown, who had a dominating personality and a handsome face, looked at his watch and suggested, "All right." Numerous university officials nodded in agreement. The mayor and the deputy mayor started walking respectfully with Dr. Brown and his wife to the lecture hall. However, Dr. Brown, who seemed conspicuous in the crowd because of his tall figure, took a look around and paused for a second when he saw Jacob and Kathy just before entering the lecture hall. "Let us hurry up as well." Kathy pulled on Jacob's arm in a hurry and almost dragged him into the hall.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.